Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome to the Fanatic Forum. I'm your Fanatic and host, George Bueller. Hope everybody's having a good one out there so far, and hope everyone is hunkered down for Winter Hell 2026. Apparently, the frost giants are on the way with all the snow and the ice and the sleet and all that stuff. So, yeah, where we're at in E-Town, apparently we're in like the 10 to 12 inch range when it comes to snow before the ice and stuff. So, we'll see how we survive and all that kind of good stuff. But we got a good show for you guys tonight. And of course, I couldn't do it without my Spider Jerusalem here to my. I'd like to think of myself as Cassidy. You know, I've got some Celtic background. I drink a lot. I don't drink blood though, but I am surly. So
fair, yeah. Now we are talking the comic version, right? Not the TV version.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay, did you ever watch the TV show?
I did, and I was very confused on the first season because I'm like, okay, none of this crap happened in the book. What's going on? And then you realize that the first season is like a 0 issue, and then the second season is the story. So I'm like, okay, that was weird, but whatever. I understand a lot of changes were made. Like they're not going to make Arseface a rock star like he was in the '90s because in the the late 2000s, what's a rock star? So
right.
You know, I get that. So his journey through hell with Adolf Hitler was interesting. I did like though that God was much more of a persona in the series than he was in the book. They kind of like they saved God till literally right at the end, and so they didn't really like do, you know, didn't do much with him until right at the end of the book. So I like that he was in the show a little bit more. But so it's like it wasn't bad, but it's just like that book is so sacred to me. So it was kind of hard.
Yeah, especially like a network television adaptation. I watched the first couple episodes and it just never hooked me, so I just kind of gave up on it.
Yep. I feel you. So, yeah. Hey, Mr. Martin is in the house.
Hello,
And
Martin.
you know what? That's a heck of a segue, sir, because, of course, our main topic du jour is we are talking about the history of Vertigo comics. We will get into that here in a little bit. But some other comic-related news and some other fun stuff, because we got to talk about the Masters of the Universe trailer.
Yep.
The first teaser trailer was released was it yesterday? So and I love too that the day before you get the teaser of the teaser trailer. I'm like, really? Just
that was lame. I hate that shit. But yeah,
they do that all the time. It's like, well, at least because I didn't realize there was a trailer coming, so the announcement of the announcement's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
My initial thoughts are it looks fun. I'm curious as to why they're basically doing kind of like a reverse Superman story with him. Like basically they hide Adam on Earth and he grows up there, but he knows there's something else for him out there. And then he gets to Eternia and yada, yada, yada there. So
yeah, that felt kind of weird in the trailer because I'm not the biggest like Masters of the Universe guy lore wise, knowing what it is.
sure.
But that's not been like an iteration of the lore that I've ever known of, has it?
No, now Queen Marlena is from Earth. She's an astronaut and a pilot, and basically, I forget, like she gets caught in some like wormhole or something like that, and it brings her to Eternia, and she can't get back. So basically, Randor's like marriage, and there you go. So yeah. So anyway, so they're I can at least see okay, well, there's that connection that she has to Earth. So they're basically they hide Adam on Earth to protect him, I guess, from Skeletor. I don't know. So, I'm curious to see a larger trailer. I was most trepidatious about Jared Leto playing Skeletor because I'm like, I don't want to see his face. I want to see Skeletor. Yeah, I don't want to see. It's like if we have a flashback of Keldor, getting to show him in blue with his little goatee right before he gets his face melted off and becomes Skeletor, that's fine. But whatever else. So I'm happy that he's in a costume and it's a voiceover. I'm like, okay, that was the one thing I was worried about. I like seeing all the different. There's a lot of like deep cut characters, and they're kind of hiding in the trailer. Like you got your Man-Arms, your Tila, and Roboto. You had a nice, showcase there. But like Mechanic is hiding in there. Fisto had a little brief shot there, which I know, it's that there are some He-Man names that were very clever, and then
You know who is my favorite He-Man character of all time that I loved?
who's
Because
that?
Stinkor.
Oh no, yeah,
Yeah, no, just the idea of that figure, like, when you popped the chest piece off, it stank. That
yeah,
was that was the gimmick. That was the deal. And I
yeah,
love this. Oh, and my buddy made his mom like yell at him whenever he showed this to her. She's like, "Oh my god, that smells like a barnyard. Why would you want that? What's wrong with you?"
and it was patchouli oil. That's all that was.
Really?
Yes, that was patchouli oil they put on it. And people
Wow.
like, and see, and I didn't mind it because it turns out that when I hit the 90s in high school, I liked patchouli oil because all the chicks that I liked wore it in high school. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, huh. I wonder why. So but no, just the idea of the action figure that stank. Like, I
Yep.
loved the
Well,
shit that they would
he,
come up with for some of these
he's a
things.
skunk, and then his enemy was Mossman, and Mossman had a lovely pine scent. So,
Yeah, that is true. The
see, there
Masters
you
of the
go.
Universe was very orally fixated, you know.
But then you had Fisto, the guy with the big metal fist.
Yeah.
And his
God.
nemesis was Jujitsu, the guy with the big golden metal hand that was in a karate chop pose, which is not a move you use in Jujitsu. Jujitsu is like throws and holds and submissions and stuff like that. There's not a lot of like, chop sake kind of stuff. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. See that yeah, that's the thing. Masters of the Universe never got me the way that like other toy lines did, right?
oh, yeah,
Because it's like, and I think it was because of like they were the slightly bigger scale and like the weird like articulation on them with just the arms and the legs. Now I
yeah.
know I had like a battle damage He-Man and Skeletor that had the chest that rotated.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Those are cool.
yeah, yeah, I had those, but it's like they never like. I always remember playing more with my Thundercats and my GI Joes and Transformers.
Okay.
But like yeah, but now like I did have like the power sword or the sword of power, like the that
Oh, the
plastic
actual
deal.
toy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I did have that, and of course I would whack the shit out of people with it and get yelled at. And yeah.
As well you should, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I had one of those too because it was like double sided. Like one side was He-Man's sword and the other side was the purple Skeletor sword, and you could put them
Yeah.
together. Yeah, so yeah, I had that too. I broke mine pretty quickly though. I've seen it, but yeah, I was rough with my stuff too. But yeah, I broke a lot of things. So
This
yeah,
was while you had your face painted as one of the members of Kiss, right?
and
Yeah.
I also had a Kiss guitar, and I would play songs. And then, basically, after I was done with the song, I would take the guitar and smash it on the ground like Paul Stanley would do. And then I couldn't understand why I couldn't get a replacement guitar. So,
Yeah.
That's, I was doing my thing, but there you go. Yeah.
Fair, fair, fair.
All right, so Martin did for his opinion says he was skeptical about Alito as well, but yeah, at least this time no Pedro
No
Pascal.
Pedro.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is kind of feeling like oversaturated in a lot of things.
well, it's kind of the point. Like, okay, we need to cast a Latino actor, and Benicio del Toro's too old. Pedro.
Yeah. Oh damn.
So yeah, that's kind of. I mean, I love Pedro. He's a good guy, but yeah, it's like they are oversaturating us with Pedro. So matter of
Yeah,
fact,
yeah.
myself and Josh over at the shop, we were talking about the casting for like Gears of War and how Dave Bautista had always kind of lobbied that he wanted to play Marcus Phoenix and really wanted to do a movie. And I'm like, yeah, so just as long as they don't cast Pedro Pascal as Dominic, because like there's one Latino guy in the movie, so it's like they don't want to cast him there. It's like it was like he doesn't have any like enough musculature to be that dude. So
Yeah.
so we need beefy guys, but and then Martin says, hang on, says hope they're not gaslighting us, but it looks better than I expected. I agree.
Yeah,
It does look better,
I do agree there too. Yeah.
but yes, but we haven't heard your take on it. We've heard me rattle on about it, but what is your take on the trailer?
I am okay, so Amazon earned a lot of goodwill with me with the first season of Fallout, so I'm willing to give it a shot.
Okay.
It looks very visually interesting. I am concerned with the the fish out of water plot line with the Prince Adam coming back to Eternia kind of deal.
Yeah,
That's going to be the bulk of the movie, and that the last 10 minutes or so are going to be him as He-Man fighting Skeletor.
that's what I'm
That
also
is,
worried about too. Yeah,
yeah,
I
because
need
they just
more
showed
He.
a lot there.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I need more He-Man, fighting Skeletor in the movie and not just at the end with the big final fight. Yes,
Yeah,
I 100% agree with that. So, yeah, so we will see. So
yeah.
we will see.
I mean,
Hey,
maybe I could be pleasantly surprised that that was just all Act 1 stuff, and then like Act 2 is just going to blow my fucking mind. It's like that's what I want. Like, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And Mr. Bradley Anderson, Fisto's name always sounds dirty no matter the context. Amen
Yeah.
to
Oh,
that.
yeah. The inner 12-year-old inside me is giggling every time we say Fisto.
I
And
know.
Ram Man is another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're having trouble on Facebook. Oh well, we're still on YouTube, so
Oh.
yeah. I don't know. Some's got we're the Fanatic Forum page on Facebook is having trouble, but my personal page on Facebook is just peachy. So there you go. So if you're not watching
Oh.
on Fanatic Forum, just watch on mine or YouTube. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, or there were some He-Man names I loved, like Snout Spout, which was the elephant guy.
Yeah.
Buzz Off the bee, he was good.
Yeah.
But
I remember him.
yeah, but then it's like, okay, we need a robot replacement for He-Man. So he's a fake He-Man, right? Yeah, he's faker. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got this guy as a human battering ram. Oh, he's a ram, huh? He's Ram Man.
Ram Man. Yeah. Which all his gimmick was like you smashed him down and then he sprung back up. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was I hated that figure. That
Yeah,
was
the later iterations of Ram Man have been a much better made figure, but yeah, the original one, yeah, there's like the opposed ability were his arms, and they did this.
yeah, it was just it yeah, Masters of the Universe kind of pissed me off as a toy line, actually. Yeah. I
Well, they
haven't
just
tried
kind of,
any of the Masterverse figures. I heard those are a lot better. But
dude, the Masterverse figures are beautiful. Like I've got a bunch of the origins that are kind of like the resculpts of the Masters of the Universe figures, kind of the original ones. But yeah, no, the Masterverse are amazing. So there's some really really cool
are they
ones.
6-inch or 7-inch scale?
They're 7 inch. They're I think they might
Oh,
be either they're the same height as a classified, or they might be a slight bit taller.
okay.
So, but yeah, they're pretty awesome though. Oh, and Martin says, "What, Seth? It can't be true. Master Universe blasted me out of my near and hero's mouth." Well, also, I'm older, and you're about like what 10 years younger, or well, not maybe like 10 years,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no,
I'm
actually, you're 10 years
43, so yeah.
younger. Oh, you're okay, like 7 years, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so anyway, 'cause, yeah, I'm like a week away or so from being 50 here, but yeah, so yeah,
You're
so
old.
yeah, see, so I'm older, so therefore I connect more with Masters of the Universe. So yeah, makes sense.
No, fair,
Makes sense.
fair,
Yeah.
yeah.
And see, and I didn't connect much with Thundercats, and Thundercats came later. So there you go. But we have our connection with GI Joe because GI Joe's forever. So there you are.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, G.I. Joe went from like what 82 to a real American hero anyway for was 82 through 94.
Yeah, I think 94, 95, and
Yeah.
then you had the Sergeant Savage stuff, and then you had GI Joe Extreme,
And
and
then
then the
yeah,
25th anniversary, and then you had the 25th anniversary stuff, which that's kind of like got to read back into the old school, and they had like new sculpts of the 3 3/4 inch figures.
yeah, and I started kind of looking at some of them too, and it's like, damn it, I didn't want to I don't want to collect 2 lines of GI Joes, but now it's
I
like I'm kind of half tempted, but
I did. I've basically now run through 3 generations of Joes. I had the original run. I collected a bunch of the 25th anniversary, and then I got rid of those to start the classifieds. So
yeah, no, fair, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like the Pursuit of Cobra ones were the ones that actually was kind of like piquing my interest a little bit. They were like that proto classified line, like
yeah,
between the 25th anniversary and classified. Yeah.
yeah,
What do you
yeah.
want? No one likes you.
Is a Mox giving you trouble?
No, that's Mika.
Oh, Mika. Oh,
Yeah, we say those things to her because she can't hear it. She's deaf.
She can't hear it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, have you ever seen the G.I. Joe Resolute series?
The animated
Anime.
series. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah. No, that is bad. I've watched that a couple of times. I think it's badass.
Yeah, and they made
Yeah.
figures based on that series too.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. They're more kind of the cartoony style, but like
Yeah.
the Pursuit of Cobra one specifically, like I got like okay, here's kind of sorry, mini tangent time before because so it's like because I've got thoughts about these things. So
Uh-huh.
so for example, like people gave like I remember like getting into the classified collecting, reading people's reactions to certain figures and shit. Like people weren't that thrilled with Beachhead when he first came out.
Oh yeah.
Uh yeah, they didn't care for him. Even though he seems more modeled off of the Pursuit of Cobra style Beachhead that people fucking loved, you know, like and Firefly was the same way. Like Firefly and the Pursuit of Cobra line still had that kind of like bomber jacket thing, not bomber jacket, but the that like explosive vest kind of deal,
Okay.
like the Hurt Locker kind of deal. The same one that he's got on Classified, or a very similar one, right?
Okay.
And people talk about how they loved that fucking version of
Mm-hmm.
Firefly, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I mean I can kind of see the strength of like both designs. The classic designs are great, you know, don't get me wrong, but like I love the updated designs of the classifieds too. Like I think those are a lot of fun. Like I think that the classified original Duke versions, like the Tiger Force and the very first one they put out,
Oh yeah.
are a lot better than the retro card Duke. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the retro card Duke is bad, but it's like I like the updates. That's just yeah. But
No,
anyway,
I agree. I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, that's the
yeah.
thing too. It's kind of fun. Is sometimes those updated figures just they take kind of they just fix certain things, and I'm fine with
Yeah.
that to be honest. So
Oh
there you
yeah.
go. One other little bit of a trailer that came out today, actually. There was a further Supergirl trailer release, and it doesn't show too terribly much new footage, but it just shows enough of a glimpse of Lobo. Jason Momoa as Lobo, and you see him kind of like pull up on his bike, and there's like flames coming off of it, not like Ghost Rider, but like like coming out of the manifold, kind of stuff like that.
Right.
And he's like, and you can't hear his voice, but he's saying something when he's pulling up, and he's got a big old cigar sticking out of his mouth. So like he looks great. So all I gotta do is just hear the voice and hear him call somebody a bastich and hear the laugh, and I'm ready.
Right,
But
right.
I think this is going to be Momoa's crowning achievement here. I think so.
I'm definitely gonna watch it because I just loved the way they teased Supergirl in the new Superman movie.
Yeah,
Like that
and
yeah.
well, I was saying if they're basing it off of the Woman of Tomorrow storyline, that's a really good Supergirl story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're even
so
plugging that in the little teaser snippet too. The
yeah.
original, yeah.
Yeah, because they basically got the DC Compact out, and they have a compact release now for Woman of Tomorrow. So it's basically that synergy that James Gunn was talking about. It's like it's like when we have a movie release and there's a tie-in for the book, we plug the book, or if a video game comes out, we plug the book. That it's based off of. So it's just like it's just bringing everything, all the other mediums back together once again.
Right.
So yeah, that's exactly what they should be doing. Every trailer of Supergirl you see, want to get ready, read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, available in bookstores now.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the way it should be, and it looks like it kind of is. So good job.
Yeah, I'm down for that, yeah.
I know, I am. So all right, so got a couple of comic reviews before we talk about more comics. All right. So a couple from last week I had to talk about here that were really notable. So, of course, some more fallout from the One World Under Doom ending with Dr. Doom being dead. No one's in power in Latveria. So there's all kinds of chaos and stuff going on. And this is a miniseries called The Dungeons of Doom.
Doom.
Yeah, so this is a bit of an anthology series because Ben Percy and Philip Kennedy Johnson are writers on this. But basically, you've got a team of U.S. soldiers with the Red Hulk in tow. You get some Latvian military, Latvian freedom fighters, and a Hydra team. So that's the 4 teams we're following in these stories here. So
Yeah.
they're all fighting above ground. Red Hulk comes in, bang bang boom, and causes a big wallop. And when he does, everybody goes down, and suddenly now they're in these dungeons that no one knew about. Where Doom basically, this is where he hid all of his secrets. And secrets, I mean arcane stuff, super science stuff, monsters from other dimensions that are trapped here. Also, he would hide stuff for other people, namely Charles Xavier. There is a mutant, a living person that is in the Dungeons of Doom, and basically a message from Charles Xavier reads, under no circumstances should this person ever see the light of day.
Damn.
This guy's free because the door's open. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on in here. So I wasn't sure how this was going to go, but this is a lot of fun. Doom's got some secrets. So
okay, all right.
Yeah, he's got some shit. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna be kind of cool. I like it. So I think it's like a 5-issue miniseries.
Right.
All right, one indie we got to talk about here. This has got a major thing to talk about because this ties into a conversation we regularly have about the G.I. Joe Energon universe. I give you issue 17, the conclusion of the Dreadnought War.
I have finished that today, actually.
Excellent. So in here, basically, of course, Duke was investigating a site where he thinks that there may be some Energon traces there, and possibly Cobra Commander may be going there for it. So he was trying to beat Cobra Commander there. The Dreadnoks, basically, we haven't seen them since Cobra Commander's miniseries, are looking for Cobra Commander, looking for revenge because, he stole their Energon and he hurt a couple of their friends and killed some people too. Buzzard, namely, was a little bit mauled up there, so now Buzzard's kind of pulling a Ashley Williams that has a chainsaw hand now, so which is pretty tight.
Yeah. Oh, but Buzzard in this issue, though, that was. I felt bad for him just a smidge.
Yeah, because he and Cobra Commander get in a fight, and see, one major thing with the Energon universe, this Cobra Commander ain't no bitch.
No,
he is not the sniveling coward that runs. He is psychotic. And yeah, he can throw down.
Yeah, retreat is not in his vocabulary either.
So basically, what ends up happening that Cobra and the Dreadnoks kind of make a truce. So the main group of Dreadnoks, run away with Cobra Commander when the Cobra show up to pick up the commander, and there you go. One major thing is that Duke, his whole impetus with his Joe team is to investigate what these transforming robots are that killed his friend, and he wants to see them all dead. What he doesn't know is that one of his own Joes has found a good transformer, an Autobot, named Hound, the Jeep guy, if you remember, and they're buddies, and Hound's been hanging out with him in Jeep mode. Well, Clutch is like, dude, we need some help. Hound, do it. And so Hound transforms and saves the day. And then Duke's like, what the fuck?
Right.
Because his best friend has been hiding a transformer this entire time. So Clutch gets a punch.
Duke's reaction to that too, just like
he says nothing and just punches Clutch in the face and knocks him out.
Yeah.
Like, okay. The other thing that happens. Now, we've been introduced to all the major players in the Dreadnought family. Xandar, Zorana, Clutch, Ripper, Buzzer, or Torch Ripper Buzzer, Monkey Wrench, all of them, except for Zartan. We've teased Zartan that he's around, but we haven't seen him. Why haven't we seen him? Because he's been hiding.
We've seen him.
Not as the Baroness. Like you've popularly said numerous times, he's the Baroness in hiding.
We're going to come back to that.
I know they haven't been in the same place at the same time. So it could possibly be he's doing both. But, more importantly, Zartan has been masquerading this entire time as General Hawk.
Yeah.
So the guy that formed the G.I. Joe team and then also formed the secondary secret Night Force team to spy on the Joe team to make sure Duke doesn't go crazy.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy Zartan.
Yeah.
and he's screwing with GI Joe, and then he also basically gives the go ahead for Zarana and company to hang out with Cobra because he wants to screw with Cobra too. He doesn't care about either side. He cares about
He's just an agent of
anarchy.
chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, an agent of chaos. Like,
Yeah. And see, that's how, like, yeah. And so, since he's pulling this double agent thing with GI Joe when he's General Hawk and the Baroness, he's
he's
able to
not
get he's able to
he's,
get double the intel on the GI
he's
Joe side.
but he's not the Baroness because he's General Hawk, and there have been times where General Hawk and Baroness are in the same room and have conversations. So how can he be both?
Holograms, man. Haven't you seen the cartoon and the comics and shit? Yeah.
No, sir,
No,
no,
see,
sir.
yes, yeah,
He
that's
is.
exactly how he does it.
Oh
It's
my God.
holograms.
Oh my God! I got a hologram for you. Oh my God! No, I win. Zartan is not the Baroness.
Well,
What I didn't know. What I
time will
didn't.
tell. Time will tell.
What, okay, fine. But all right. Anyway, so selections from this week here. We got some good ones as well. First off, one you would appreciate because this is in your box for you.
Oh
Aliens versus
yeah.
Captain America #3. Captain Marvel, the champion of Hala, enters the
Yeah.
fray, and it's awesome. This is probably my favorite issue of the series. Yeah, because Marvel and the rest of the Kree show up to basically help out. You get to hear how they were involved in the whole situation, coming upon a derelict Skrull ship that basically had found xenomorphs there, and so they in turn find xenomorphs.
Right.
So yeah. Of course, in the second issue, everybody except for Cap, Nick Fury, and Bucky were killed in the Howling Commandos. Even Dum Dum, like everybody got murdered. But Nick, Cap, and Bucky are still alive. And then here comes Captain Marvel with the Kree force showing up, and
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. I'm just loving this series because, of course, I love World War II superhero stuff. Just
Right.
for whatever reason, it just always just works for me. And yeah, this is definitely a lot of that. So, and we get a double dose of Cap this week because the Chip Zdarsky series is on issue 6, and this starts a new storyline here. So, in the first 5 issues, was basically Cap has just recently come out of the ice and is kind of looking for his place in the world. Tony Stark offers him a position with the Avengers, but he's like, I don't know if I'm ready for that sort of thing. So he goes back to the army. General Ross basically sends him on a mission like, hey, why don't you go to this Latveria place and take out this Doom guy? We don't like him. And basically gets there and finds out this is their first, come across with Doom. Finds out there's a lot more to this guy, a lot more to the situation. Cap becomes further disenfranchised with the U.S. Army and decides to go hang with the Avengers. Now we're flash forwarding into the modern day here, post One World Under Doom, where basically Latveria's in turmoil, a lot of crazy shit going on. So Nick Fury Jr. comes out of hiding, hadn't seen him in a long time, pops out and basically is like, hey, I'm trying to rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D., but we're small. We want like 6, like half a dozen people and you. Basically, this is what we're doing. You want to join us. And Cap's like, I don't know. I'm not really doing this sort of thing right now, so I'm out. So no thanks. As he's leaving, General Ross calls him. It's like, yeah, I heard you got, talked to by by Junior. They're trying to restart S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, dude, kid's out of his depth. He doesn't know what he's doing. We got this thing going to Latveria. Why don't you come join the right side? And that just pissed Cap off enough. So he literally turns right back around. And it's like, Nick, I'm in.
Right.
So yeah, so we got basically Shield is reforming under a ragtag group of misfits. A lot of young people, no one we recognize really from previous stuff. So a lot of new characters, but one of them is a young, uh, uh, basically Black Latino mix who is a huge Captain America fan. So there's a little bit of hero worship going on there, and that may or may not come as a problem later on.
Right, right.
Because will he be a very good, soldier and be a good partner to Cap, or will he basically be too clouded by hero worship and get himself killed?
Yeah.
So there's that. So last of the Marvel things here, and I got one more indie to talk about. This Daredevil Punisher miniseries, The Devil's Trigger. If you guys are either Daredevil or Punisher fans or both, and you are not reading this series, you are missing out. This is very much kind of a throwback series. So it's basically earlier timelines, like Punisher is still dealing with the Ganucci family. So that takes us back about maybe 20 years there. So we're got very much the conflict of Frank and and Matt, very much front and center on this. Lots of fighting back and forth. Very noirish, very gritty series here. Why this is not a red band, I don't know, because it's bloody. But it's so good. But you've got basically Jimmy Palmiotti and Simone Bianchi are on this series, and there's a couple different things that Jimmy does, because this is the time period where everybody knew, or the Kingpin did the Born Again storyline, where basically he outed to the world who Matt Murdock was, and then later on Matt does like some freaky ninja shit, and everybody forgets who Matt Murdock is, including all of his friends. And so that's
oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like Misty Knight pops up in here, and she has a conversation with Matt Murdock, but she doesn't know that he's also Daredevil. So like nice detail. So it's like it's definitely putting us in the right time frame. But just it's so good. I'm sad it's a miniseries. But it's like 3 issues in. It has just been like it's better than the current Daredevil series that just ended, and of course there's a new one's literally going to be starting up here, I think, in like a week or two. It's as good as the 2 Punisher series that are currently out right now. So there you go. So it's top tier stuff. Last but not least, I've talked about this series before from Image Comics, Tate Bromell's Everything Dead and Dying. This is if you miss the good days of The Walking Dead before it got oversaturated and overdone and we had 40,000 shows, when you still enjoyed the comic book, but were glued to it week to week, a good human story, but also in the zombie kind of stuff. Right. This is this book. Unfortunately, it doesn't go 193 issues. It only goes 5 issues. I hope they do more, but probably not. I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, basically, this is a story where you got basically a guy that's a farmer in a small town. He is gay, and so he kind of basically is kind of a bit of a recluse, just living on his farm, staying away from town because townspeople are assholes. Later on, as time goes on, people start becoming more accepting of him. He ends up meeting somebody. They get married. They have a friend of theirs do a surrogate mom, so they actually have a child. So they have a family. They're on the farm. Everything's happy. Then the super flu comes, and basically people start dropping like flies and zombies and all that kind of stuff there, right?
Right.
So our farmer, on the other hand, though, tries to keep his world going. And by doing so, he's essentially feeding the zombies, kind of maintaining them so they don't get agitated. They're always sated, and they're just kind of just basically hanging around doing their things. Or if they have any memories of their past life, maybe they're kind of doing a mimicry of the job they used to do. Like the guys that pick up the trash, maybe they're still hanging out on the trash truck. It doesn't go anywhere. They're not picking up any trash, but they're still on the trash truck. This sort of thing like that, So things seem to be happy, and then you get basically a Rick Grimes kind of group coming upon his town. And they see zombies, get them! So that starts the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 issues, very good, very poetic series. It's a zombie story, and like all good zombie stories, it doesn't end well. So there you go. But yeah, it is so good. So like I just say, it's if you miss the good old days of The Walking Dead before it got just completely overdone, this is that book for you. So there we go. There's your comic reviews for this week. And now we can talk about more comics.
The topic du jour.
That's right, because we're talking Vertigo, baby.
And apt you have basically the Vertigo poster child is the image for that. Yeah.
Yep. Old Orpheus there. Or Morpheus, I mean.
Morpheus, from Neil Gaiman's Sandman series. And now, say what you will about his character. We're not going to really talk about that stuff tonight. We're just talking about the comics and,
right.
that kind of deal. So, but yeah, no, this series is probably Vertigo's most successful, I would say.
I would say so easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, we got a couple of comments here. Dave Mattingly, Diamond Dave, good to see you, sir. Love to see you there. He basically loved Preacher and Sandman. Yep, those are absolutely there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Martin says, "Town people are assholes." Wow, that was a good one. I will print my shirt tomorrow with slime green letters. Please do, sir. Please do. Yeah. I want to see that shirt. I don't know. I have a history spiel, a brief history spiel for Vertigo. If you don't have one,
okay. Well, you go right ahead with that one then.
Okay, cool. So basically, Karen Berger was basically the brainchild behind Vertigo Comics. So she initially started with DC in the early '80s as an assistant to Paul Levitz when he was still on Superman. And she basically, her literary tastes always went towards the fantasy, sci-fi, horror, real life kind of stuff. She really didn't care much for the superhero set. And so she was basically looking for a book to start her first editing gig on. And wouldn't you know it, her first editing gig is Swamp Thing. She gets to work on Alan Moore's run of Swamp Thing.
But this was before it was Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing, right? This was
Basically, this was when Len Wein decided to basically after the '82 Swamp Thing movie came out, the Wes Craven one. Len Wein said we need to revive the book, and so started reviving the book. And so you had a run where you had Len Wein brought back on there for a period of time, and then I can't remember if he something either with didn't sit right with him with the company, or he wasn't getting paid enough, or he had other things to do. But either way, he left. Mm-hmm. And so when he's leaving, they're looking for a writer to replace him. And I can't remember who it was pointed out to Karen, check out this guy. Or maybe, no, it wasn't Lynn. I think it was Lynn. Even said,
I believe, I believe the folklore on that is that, it was Lynn, yeah.
Yeah, they basically check out this British guy. And so they had issues of Warrior magazine, and there was another British mag that he did stuff for. But basically they had some issues of Warrior. That's where he did the Miracle Man stuff. And basically they, loved his work, and so brought him to the States, and he starts doing Swamp Thing. And then 4 years later, he does The Watchmen. And then also for one of his other British magazines, he started doing the V for Vendetta series, but it's for Warrior. And then Warrior goes out of business, so he's not able to finish it. And so then DC brings it over after the success of The Watchmen and lets him republish the issues that he already did, remastered, and then finish the series.
Yeah. So, because he did a smattering of other DC books too, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Yep.
The closeout Superman story for the poster for the pre-crisis universe stuff,
which is still one of the still listed as one of the greatest Superman stories ever.
Oh yeah, actually, he's written two of the best Superman stories ever. What do you get for the Man Who Has Everything?
Yep.
And and that the great story about Superman, Robin, or no, it's a Batman, Robin, and Wonder Woman go to the Fortress of Solitude for Superman's birthday. But Mongol beat him there. And that was that's still got one of the greatest panels in comic book history. Kryptonian, I give you oblivion. Burn. Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
But and if I can piggyback off of what you're saying, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that kind of stuff was what got the shift in comic books to where people were more interested, less in not less interested in superhero comics, but more willing to explore comics with outside themes like that. You know, it could be like more adult oriented or
Yeah.
more like
Mature,
existential,
mature
mature
content.
stuff. Which
Yeah.
is a sticking point with Alan Moore. He didn't like that. Like he didn't want that like mature readers label on Swamp Thing, but he got overridden. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And granted, they did it for content purposes to put that on there, so they didn't want like little kids reading the kind of stuff. But also, like, yeah, he wanted to have the widest range of audience. I understand that, but also at the same time too, it kind of set him apart in a good way. I
Yeah.
think, because like, oh, this is special because it's still a DC book, but it's like, oh, this is like it's got the grown up stuff. But anywho, so basically, with essentially 1986, you get Watchmen, you get Dark Knight Returns. Mouse is about a year later, I think. So you get all these like tentpole, mature themed, grown up comics dealing with very grown up issues, especially with Mouse, essentially dealing with the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Uh, so you get all this, very mature comic book content coming out. So now you're getting this driving force. So like, we need to have some more of this. So flash forward to 1992, and Karen Berger opens up the Vertigo imprint, which was basically made to be for artists, exploration of themes outside of your traditional superhero set. You could still do superhero books if you wanted to, but you could push the envelope a bit more. And then, of course, too, the content could be a little more mature, a little more racy, a little more adult, if you will. But then the big sticking point that enticed creators is that you had more of a market share of the money made. It was kind of the model essentially that Image built itself on and improved even further.
Yeah, they were a proto Image back in the day. There was like they really fed that like creator driven book market with things. But they didn't have a bunch of ongoing titles. There was only really a handful at any given time.
Basically, they tried to do when they initially launched Vertigo, 6 books were absorbed in. There were already pre-existing books in DC were absorbed under the Vertigo imprint,
right?
Which were the Sandman, Hellblazer. Let's see what else. Swamp Thing, Jonah Hex, Animal Man, and Doom Patrol. Yeah. So those 6 were already existing and then were absorbed into it. And then, of course, interestingly enough, while Vertigo was in existence, you also had the DC Helix imprint, which was supposed to be kind of more of like writer driven. Like they would get more literary people come in, like Michael Moorcock had some stuff with them, and then of course that's where Warren Ellis's Transmetropolitan came from, which ended up being a very popular book that essentially, after the failure of Helix, Transmetropolitan was absorbed into Vertigo.
It became a Vertigo book too. Yeah. No, that was weird talking about that. So it was, I remember a lot of the Vertigo titles at the time because it was like I loved reading them because they were like they were very stealth books. Like, if they were in a comic book store, my parents really didn't pay that much attention to it, right?
Yeah.
Like, because they'd be out there, but like you get like an issue of Swamp Thing and there'd be like boobies in it. So I thought it was great. And then I'd actually read the issue and it would be all heady and shit. And it would be like, oh, wow, okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on. But some of those Vertigo books, I even remember being like, they weren't necessarily comics. They were like novels with pictures. And it's like they were just too wordy for their own good. And it's like, that's kind of what I feel like some of the Helix stuff almost became. But then when it really could explore its own format, like the Joe R. Lansdale Jonah Hex series, like you snagged me the individual issues on those. I love those damn things.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, those are great stories. Just because they can really be weird West shit, and not have to worry about what any kind of mainstream continuity or to be any kind of story other than to be a weird, creepy Western. And that was the beauty part about Vertigo is you could tell any kind of story. And
absolutely,
you could tell horror stories, crime stories, love stories, You know, Fables. Fables is another great series out of friggin' Vertigo. Like that's one of my favorites. Where, you know, it's all these like mythical creatures from fairy tales living in this city in New York,
Hmm.
in this community, and like, oh yeah, the whole thing about like who killed what's her name? Shit. The whole thing, the murder mystery arc that kicks the whole thing off. That they think that.
I never read Fables, so but I know
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah, I kind of vaguely know the premise of it, but I never actually read Fables, so.
Yeah. The first arc is so it's I can't remember who she is in Fairy Tale Land, but like Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk,
Hmm.
like he's this like kind of near do well shithead addict kid that is like the delinquent child. So he's accused of the murder, and the big bad wolf is the sheriff of Fabletown. So he's trying to solve the mystery of it, and like he runs into Snow White, and like Prince Charming is like the same Prince Charming in all these stories, but he's a huge asshole, a womanizing dickhead. And
So
yeah,
yeah, so it's the same guy, but he keeps running from girl to girl. Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
yeah, and they do great little plays on that. And then like then in the second arc you find out like where like the animal characters from fairy tales are, and they live on this farm, and like they're all talking to each other, and they plan a revolution because they feel like they're excluded from the
Nice.
yeah. Fables is a great fucking series. If you ever get a chance, check it out because you'd get a kick out of it.
Oh, I'm sure I would. Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course, here's a nice little chart here. Some of the more better known, popular Vertigo titles. Of course, you got up the top corner, Sandman, Neil Gaiman,
Yep.
which that's basically been adapted to the Netflix series, and I guess it's kind of in limbo because of Mr. Neil's more real life issues with
Yeah. I think
doing
it's
bad things.
concluded now, though. I think it's done.
Okay.
Done. Yeah,
Okay.
or they're wrapping it up in like a movie or something. But yeah,
All right.
it's Dunzos.
And then, of course, a beloved character who was initially introduced in The Sandman, Mr. John Constantine, Hellblazer.
Introduced in Swamp Thing.
Oh,
Uh,
Swamp Thing. I'm sorry. Good God. Yeah.
nah,
Swamp Thing.
they all run
Well,
together at the time. Yeah,
anyway, yeah. But yeah, so yeah. Constantine was introduced in Swamp Thing, and then he gets his own book later on. The resident mage of the DC universe, and he's a cheeky bastard, but God, I love
yeah.
him.
That is probably like if Sandman was the most successful, Hellblazer was the tent pole book
Yeah.
of the Vertigo line. Yeah,
Yeah, and again, like it was one of those that pre-existed before Vertigo, but it just got absorbed into the Vertigo imprint.
yeah,
But yeah, it was the book that could get away with everything. It's the book that introduced me to Garth Ennis.
yep.
Because basically, him and Steve Dillon, their run on Hellblazer was outstanding. That essentially led to them getting Preacher. And so I basically, I kind of read like the first few issues of Preacher, and somebody's like, "Oh, dude, you need to check out their run on Hellblazer." So I went back to Hellblazer, got those trades, and then basically went back, and then basically went back into Preacher, and that just those two books cemented forever my love of Garth Ennis.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm one of the. I'm with you. I think he's a great writer and he's a lot of fun.
He is. I mean, it's just, when I see his name on a book, I'm interested, especially if it's something supernatural, metaphysical, religious thing, or if it's a World War II book.
Yeah,
Either one.
yeah.
Either way, that dude's ready to go. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of decades ago at a Chicago Wizard Con. And it was because the previous year, Steve Dillon was there. So I
Yeah.
went and got my Hellblazer and basically my Hellblazer Dangerous Habits and my Preacher Volume 1 trade signed by Steve. Then the next year, Garth was there. And so Garth got a kick that I got to meet Steve, and then he signed both those trades. And it was literally the summer before Garth was going to start his run on Punisher. So that's how long ago it
Nice.
was. But yeah, everybody was excited about his run on Punisher. So I got to have a little conversation while he was signing. Great guy, very traditional Irish, lots of personality. I would one day love to have a pint or five with him. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, you know he'd be hella interesting to talk to.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, one book we both love, Why the Last Man, Brian K.
Oh
Vaughan.
yeah, that one's in trade form on my shelf back here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Let's see.
that is a stone cold classic. The TV show did the series dirty and rightfully got canceled quickly.
Well, here's the thing. So the biggest problem with the series was it came out the year of COVID. The other problem was they had a 3-year contract with all the actors, and the show started production in 2019, which meant by the time the show was released, they had 1 year left of their contract. And like, do we renew their contracts or we just let it slip and don't and cancel the show? And that's what they decided to do.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
so basically, it was a one and done season, and it was going to be released in 2020, and it didn't. They pushed it back because of COVID, because like, okay, well, we don't want to release a show about a worldwide disease that kills half the population when there's a worldwide disease going on that's killing half the population. So
right.
we decided to not do that one there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The show was on its way to being a good adaptation, and it just got cut short. So,
okay.
Life getting in the way. Of course, another Sandman alum here, Mr. Lucifer, had his spinoff series.
Loved Lucifer. That's another series I have in trade back here. That's a classic series.
Now, the Lucifer series does have some similarities to the Lucifer TV show. The comic obviously gets a lot more into things. It's not so much like a procedural, buddy cop with the devil hanging out on Earth sort of thing like that.
Right.
But there are some similarities. So if you were a fan of the TV show and you want a little more and you haven't read the book, I suggest checking out the book.
Yeah, the book is super cool too, because it's like Lucifer never lies to anyone in this book. Like he always is very conscious to live his own way, and never wants to try and like be like an agent of he never wants to try and be an agent of God, even though he thinks he still might be. There's that whole existential question of it. But yeah, I love the whole idea that like he never lies to anyone and he never deceives anyone in any way. But it's like he will let people think things are a certain way. But like, yeah, he's not necessarily a good guy, but it's like he's like a lot more sympathetic than you ever really think about him, especially if you think about Lucifer as a character, in the Judeo-Christian tradition.
Exactly. One of my favorite Vertigo series, 100 Bullets. Yeah, Ed Rizzo, Morello. I keep hearing that there's going to be either a movie or a series based on 100 Bullets. I'm like, where?
Yeah, I've heard that multiple times too. I think it keeps bouncing around.
I believe so too. It's in production hell. But the premise on this one is that basically you've got this mysterious man in a suit who hands you a briefcase and basically says, this person did you wrong in your life. You have an opportunity to take revenge. Here's a whole bunch of money. Here's a gun that's untraceable, and you've got 100 bullets that are also untraceable. What do you want to do? And so that's kind of the initial premise. Now, of course, as the series goes on, you get more into the organization of who this guy works for, why are they doing this, and then you get further into conspiracy, and then trying to basically take down this organization or work with it at the same time. It is awesome crime noir, conspiracy stuff, some action going on there. It's just it's peak stuff.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely there. So, yeah, some excellent examples there. Another one, basically, kind of this one introduced me to Grant Morrison, aside from him doing his Batman stuff. But we got to talk about the Invisibles.
Yes. Oh God, yeah. That series was a mind fuck.
Yes, and it's supposed to be
so good. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was supposed to be. Weirdly enough, one of the inspirations of the Matrix.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely an inspiration of the Matrix. So basically, the Invisibles is based on a group that call themselves the Invisible College, and their whole plot is to save the world from threats, physical, metaphysical, and spiritual. So basically, they're keeping us safe from the squares, because basically you've got people, this is basically very much this won numerous GLAAD awards because you've got lots of LGBTQ characters in here and good representation, because that's essentially what the Invisibles are. It's just a group of everybody and everything essentially, like I just said, protecting us from the squares.
Yeah.
So they're trying to take this world down and make it boring.
Yeah.
So, but
And
yeah,
Doom
it's
Patrol had a very similar vibes to that when Grant Morrison was writing it. Doom Patrol is one of my favorite. Morrison's Doom Patrol is one of my favorite runs of all time,
yeah, that's
especially
when I
when you
had.
get into
Yeah, that's
yeah,
when I had to go back. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was just like I got the huge omnibus of it. It's one of the few ones of those. I hate those things because they're so heavy and they're hard to read. But it's like that one was. I had to
Yeah.
get that one just because it was. I loved that run way too much because you got especially when it gets super weird when there's stuff like the Justice League is like we don't know how to fight a weird painting and then Robot Man's like move over, we got this shit.
I
Right?
love
Like yeah,
Hate Paris. I love that. That's one of my favorite stories.
yeah, oh yeah. And then like Danny the Street, that whole
Mm-hmm.
thing, like oh, I loved Danny the Street. I loved how the TV show did that whole did Danny right, you know.
The TV show for Doom Patrol that lasted 4 seasons, folks, it's on HBO Max. If you have not checked it out, do yourself a favor. It's one of the finest adaptations of a superhero book you'll ever see because it's the weird shit and they're not afraid to get weird and they stick to it. And
Yeah.
it's so good. So, I
It's
mean, the 2 episodes of Danny the Street and then when the Cliff's character, not Cliff, the Negative Man. When
yeah.
his character comes out, oh my god, I was crying like a baby at the end of that episode.
Oh yeah, it was so good. So much of that stuff was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, it just hits you. It just hits you in the feels, and it's like you love like each one of these characters, like these flawed, hurting characters. You know that,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah. Oh man,
Yeah, it's like watching, reading Doom Patrol or watching the show is like attending group therapy, but oh, it's so good.
yeah,
It's so good.
yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that really made Vertigo peak. You know, for me was that kind
Mm-hmm.
of like storytelling that they weren't afraid to go past things where it's like, yeah, it's great to have like the big slugfest between Green Lantern and Mongol, right? You know, like while Coast City's blowing up. And it's like I love
Yeah.
that shit. But you know, sometimes it's like you just want to get down deep and like you want to like go on the weird spiritual road trip where you're trying to figure out why God is just not there. You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah. God has abandoned his post. Yeah, so it's
yeah.
like, why is that? Oh, and Martin asked, so Seth, I guess your parents didn't let you buy Preacher.
No, my parents, they were. I did not buy Preacher because they were at that point they didn't really care too much about what I got. But I remember I borrowed a lot of the Preacher trades from your cousin, which they might have been
Mhm.
your Preacher trades at one point.
They
And
probably were, yeah.
yeah,
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 I lent my trades out to get other people in the books before they got signed, and then since they've been signed, they haven't seen the light of day. So
yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, those things. I think you're gonna be buried with those.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, probably, yeah.
yeah,
Especially since Steve Dillon is not with us anymore. Rest in peace. So
right.
yeah, they're even more precious to me.
Yeah,
And Martin says, yeah, it has to be the Invisible University where they teach this type of fashion. Hey, you know what? These kids, look at them. Look at that. There's leather
yeah.
studs. There's piercings. There's fishnets. There's leopard print. There's all kinds of shit there.
It's
I can
very much British, like punk culture kind of shit. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a great series.
Yeah. But
That
yeah, huge
uh,
inspiration for the Matrix, though. Yes,
yeah,
100%.
man, Grant Morrison. Like thinking about it, like he did a lot of great Vertigo stuff. Might as well talk a little bit about Animal Man
Oh,
and
yes.
like yeah, what he did with that because that the Roadrunner issue
Mm-hmm.
like was great, and it's like just the way that he changed. He made Animal Man into a character you gave a shit about
Yeah.
because he was a joke for the longest time, and Grant
Mm-hmm.
Morris actually made him interesting and like put some thought behind the character, and then wrote himself into the story.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and one of the weird. It only would have worked in a Vertigo book. Only would have worked.
Yeah. Only worked in Vertigo. Yeah. But
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's, yeah. Yeah, just I love me some Grant Morrison. They are awesome. So
Yeah.
let's see here. A couple other things. Of course, we briefly talked about Preacher a little bit here, but I mean, come on. This book was so right for the 90s because it was angry at organized religion and a lot of the bullshit that we've been force fed, over the years, and it asks us a lot of important questions. It doesn't answer many of those questions, but it asks a lot of questions. But it also has a lot of weird shit, a lot of perversion as well, and a lot of bloodshed for a religious book.
Yeah, it's Preacher's definitely a classic. It was, it's one of those things where it's like you can't really describe it unless like it defies description in some spots.
Yes, but if
It's
you
one of the funniest, most poignant, fucking brutal books, though.
absolutely. I mean, just an ending that'll have you in tears because it does have a proper ending because it goes like what 76 issues.
75 or 70. Sandman was 75. I think Preacher might have been 76 or 77.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. But I mean, it's a book that has a beginning, middle, and an end. There was the AMC show that was based off the book. And I have problems with the show. There's some things I liked about it. There's a lot more I didn't. So I can't say
Right.
I love the show, but it's not bad. But the book is so good. But essentially, a entity that is basically, I guess, part angel, part demon, known as Genesis, embodies the guy here in the center there, Jesse Custer, who is a small town preacher who's had a shady past, is trying to kind of clean up and just basically do what the family business was, which is be a preacher in a small town. So while he's in the middle of Sunday service, this entity comes and possesses him. And when it happens, basically this burst of energy hits and it fries the entire congregation. So Jesse is the only person standing. And what Jesse learns when he is possessed by this entity is that God has left heaven and no one knows where he went. So basically Genesis, and apparently this entity scares the ever loving shit out of God as well because it's a Nephilim. So Jesse goes on this crazy metaphysical, very violent road trip. First with his girlfriend Tulip there, who's kind of his partner in crime. They kind of get reunited after being apart for a while. And then they come across this Irish lad over there to his left, or to his right there, named Cassidy. And he's a bit of a character, a bit of a rough guy there. And then we find out that Cassidy is a freaking vampire.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite reveals ever. It's just like, what?
Yeah. So, yeah, it is such a great book. And there's so many, just the Saint of Killers, Arseface, the old man that ran kind of the town that was like the perverted sausage guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and the ghost of John Wayne is Jesse Custer's, like, guiding, spirit guide. Like, have you seen True Romance? And you remember how like Elvis would talk to Christian Slater?
Yeah.
This was the same thing with like John Wayne and Jesse Custer. Yeah.
And I'm still convinced that was Genesis talking to Jesse, but he was doing it in a way that Jesse would talk to him and trust him, so he made himself look like John Wayne.
Ah, okay, man. Yeah.
So no one's ever people have always, kind of speculated on that, but it's always been my opinion that was Genesis talking to Jesse.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
But yeah, it's some of the stuff. But then the Preacher had some of the funniest moments. Like there's this very famous this very famous page that makes fun of the KKK, where it's the two Klan members discussing how one other member whose extreme racism makes theirs slightly less uncomfortable. Just like the dialogue behind it is like,
and it very much reminds me of the what was it, the Django Unchained scene where you got like all the guys are like, they're having the Klan meeting and they're complaining about the eye holes because the one guy his wife made them. It's like, you son of a bitch, my wife made these. She spent all this time and everything, kind of stuff like that.
Can't we just go without the hoods this one time?
Stuff like, so good. Well, a couple
Yeah.
other a couple of Vertigo series that miniseries that I really enjoyed, a little more obscure here. Another Garth Ennis series that I still love to this day, Pride and Joy.
I've never heard of this one. What?
Yeah, so
Like,
this is
yeah.
it's a 4-issue miniseries. You got a dude here in the center there who basically he's a single dad that's got a shady past, and basically he's stuck with like his wife was dead, so he's basically got a son and a daughter, right? Relations are kind of really bad or whatever else, so he decides that he's going to take a camping trip with his son to kind of help bond or whatever else. Well, on the way to the camping trip, he runs across a couple of his old guys who are basically panicking because they're being hunted by some other hitman because they screwed up a job or whatever else. So
Right.
they're
Right.
turning they basically by chance run into their old buddy, and so now they get him caught up in this whole thing, and then you got this hitman essentially looking for now all three of them. Yeah, because he recognizes who I can't remember what the main character's name is, but anyway, they recognize him, and so and of course now he's got this extra danger of his child being with him, who's like maybe 12 years old. So it's like they're trying to run from this guy, they're trying to keep him safe. He's trying to teach him stuff and bonding, but also the kid's kind of a little bit of a shit too, and they don't have a good
Yeah.
relationship. So it's a lot of tension, but it's a really good crime noirish series. But yeah, it's just one of those like it was in the height of Preacher's success, and it came out. I'm like, oh, it's a Garth Ennis book. I'm there. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a nice 4-issue series. It's been collected in trade paperback for a number of years. So yeah, but definitely worth checking out.
Okay. Okay.
And then a rather infamous Vertigo series, probably the most infamous because of what they got away with. I'm talking about Flinch.
I've heard of this one. Yeah. Like what? What did
So
they? Yeah. What did they do with this one?
Flinch is an anthology horror series that the whole premise of this book is what can we get away with? What is the most messed up, fucked up, whatever the case may be? What can we get away with in print? And let's print it.
Okay.
So basically, Flinch essentially was the impetus, I think, for the Avatar imprint, which is an indie imprint that literally the whole any book that's released by Avatar has blood, beasts, boobies, and more, and they get away with like the most violent, explicit content they can get. Matter of fact, you have variant covers that are like, here's the standard, here's the gory, here's the nude cover. So it's like they just pushed the envelope, and I think Flinch was a bit of an inspiration for that.
Okay. Yeah. Avatar did the Neonomicon in Providence, Alan Moore stuff, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Neonomicon was. Yeah, that whole like that fish scene where the lady's in that man. That's one of
Garth
the,
Ennis's Crossed series, which is a zombie series that is really messed up, and apparently getting an adaptation.
oh yeah, I
Like,
heard about that. Yeah.
yeah, I was
It's
like,
like,
like
okay.
who? Where will we? It's like unless it's going to be on like Shutter. Like it's like if they're doing a series for Shutter, like okay, but it's like Crossed is extremely violent, messed up, and it's not like it's kind of a zombie series, but it's more kind of like a rage virus, but the people are more psychotic. They're like they're not all rage thing, but they're not afraid to like carve up their faces before they carve up your face.
Yeah,
Kind of.
it's almost like the guys from the Road Warrior, except not in the desert, and
Yeah,
with less S&M, but more violent psychotic stuff.
yeah,
Like
but I mean,
yeah,
yeah. Crossed is a messed up series. It's had multiple spin-off in comics as well. Because it's been one of Avatar's most popular ones. But yeah, it's getting some kind like either a film or series adaptation. I'm like, where?
yeah.
Who's doing? It's like
Shit.
that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to see it though. But Flinch was. I think this only ran like maybe it ran less than a year. Yeah, so
Okay.
it didn't last that long, but yeah, it's an anthology. A who's who of people worked on this series. Some early people in their early careers worked on it as writers or artists. But yeah, this was literally pushing the envelope, making the reader flinch.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Yeah. So, any other titles that we need to point out that we've forgotten here?
No, we talked about Hellblazer, Y, Fables, Lucifer, Sandman,
Mm-hmm.
Shade the Changing Man. That was another good classic. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
That was on there too.
that was on there. Yeah, we talked about Swamp Thing, Transmetropolitan. Yeah, we hit all the classics.
It really did, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So the main run of Vertigo basically lasted from towards the end. It officially is '93, but it's kind of like right at the end of '92 is kind of when they started, up until basically 2020. Because there were some kind of times where like Vertigo was almost you thought they were gone and they come back, sort of thing like that. But yeah, the original imprint literally lasted until 2020. Then it folded, and you basically had kind of your they focus a lot more on the rebirth and the superhero stuff. And then literally last year at San Diego Comic Con, Vertigo has risen from the dead. And so basically, yeah. And you got the little ash can there that I gave you.
yeah. The teaser books. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I'm kind of, I might give some of these issues a shot.
Yeah, of course, a Nice House by the Lake, which is the sequel, or Nice House by the Sea, which is the sequel to Nice House by the Lake. That series returns with issue 7, and then that has been also absorbed into the Vertigo line. That's the James Tynion series. Very Lost kind of feel to it. That sort of.
Yeah, yeah,
So if you enjoyed Lost and you want to check out a good series, you got to read Nice House by the Lake first. That was 12 issue series that's been collected in trade paperbacks, and then Nice House by the Sea, which is the sequel series. I think the first 6 issue trade is available. And then issue 7, which there's been a bit of a hiatus, like they took about 6 months off. So basically, so issue 7 is kind of them returning back, and then we're basically also launching this new Vertigo imprint. But then you've got basically titles like Crossed Hearts, which is Dennis Camp. That's basically a zombie series. It's the same guy who's doing the current absolute Martian Manhunter series. So a interesting zombie series where you're kind of focusing on the zombies themselves and their lore rather than the human side of things.
right.
It's a little bit more of a fantasy, a bit cartoon. It's still kind of horror, but it has a little bit more of a cartoony kind of feel to it, which is especially with the art. The one series I'm really looking forward to, The Perils of the Brutal Dark, the Ezra Kane mystery.
Yeah.
So that's basically classic noir private detective kind of shit. Vertigo did crime noir so well back in the day, so I love the art on it. I'm all in on that one. So yeah, I can't wait for that one. There's a lot more stuff coming. It'll be later in the year, and then of course stuff for next year as well. So yeah, but it's interesting too because we were when you pitched the idea to let's do an episode talk about Vertigo. I was like, oh, that's very prescient because Vertigo comes back this year, and you're like,
Yeah,
what?
I was pleasantly surprised when you mentioned that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's do it. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, we got these, like, basically, if you go to your local comic shop, they should have these Ashcan previews, which basically gives you previews of 4 upcoming Vertigo titles that are going to be released within the next couple of months. So, yeah, they basically just give you a little couple page previews of each book. So that's nice. There's, like, previews of 4 different comics in there. So it kind of just gives you a good primer of what's going on. Gives you, if you you don't know anything about Vertigo, it gives you a little bit of history, like we just did here. So, yeah, it's
But I love these things. I remember they used to have the old DC catalog at the comic stores that was like it was about the same size as a comic book, but it had the little solicitations for like the next 3 months. And then it had little like
they still do.
Yeah. But
that's
cool. Yeah, I love these things. Yeah.
Yeah, they still do those for Marvel and DC, and then with the Fall of Diamond previews magazine is dead and gone, which basically literally encompassed all of the indies, and at one point encompassed all of DC and Marvel as well. But then, now that that's gone, so you've got like IDW and Dynamite are pretty good, regularly publishing upcoming stuff for them. Image used to do it. But then basically they moved to a model like, well, we just do it online. It was like, well, okay, well, good luck with people reading your new books or checking them out because they won't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like they go to the comic shops to hear about the new titles, and the people that work there read those same previews things, so we know stuff that's coming up to talk to answer questions about what's new and coming up, or what's this book about, or whatever else. So yeah, if we don't know jack about these books, like yeah, I mean you drop the ball, man.
Right, yeah. That's kind of the problem with like when you're the maverick in the industry, and then like you can dominate for a while, but eventually you're going to start to lose ground to like getting stuck in ideas that you think are going to do things, or like saving money certain ways. And
Yeah,
yeah, not
I
saying
mean,
that Image still ain't great, in certain aspects, because it's like they're still a quality company, but yeah, it's like you said, they've got some issues there.
yeah. So I kind of hope they go back on that decision and actually release an actual catalog of stuff that's coming out, because like
Yeah.
yeah, it's helpful to get just to see who the creative team is, what the synopsis is about. Maybe show a page of art or a cover or something. Just kind of give you an idea of what it's about. So
Yeah.
there you go. So that was the one good thing that Diamond did when they were around, is basically they gave a good showcase to new and upcoming books, so you knew what this thing was, and here's all the covers going to be available, and order now.
Right.
So there you go. So, oh, by the
Even
way,
if
I
it
love
was
the
Diamond, yeah.
yeah, it was Diamond. Yeah, I love the Cobra shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. No, this was one of my Christmas presents. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So, well, that about wraps it up for us this week here. So, of course, if you want more information about Vertigo, or a little bit more of a deeper dive, basically, you've got a few documentaries that are out on YouTube that you can look up there. So you get some very good ones on there. There is a full length DC history documentary. I think it's on HBO Max, and a good part of the documentary does discuss Vertigo and Vertigo's history as well there too.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, and of course Karen Berger is still alive and well. She still kind of does a little bit of stuff with DC, but she's kind of like semi-retired. Sort of thing, but she still looking healthy and good. Seems to be in good health or whatever else. But yeah, basically it's kind of nice that like one of the most successful sub imprints that pushed the envelope, was the most creative, was at one point one of the coolest. Like people who didn't read comics, they read Vertigo.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't read that Superman stuff, but I'll read some Preacher, I'll read Sandman or stuff like that. So
Exactly.
yeah, and like this whole thing was created by a woman, and because she liked the weird shit, and I'm like, that's my people. Yeah,
Exactly.
So, I like the superhero stuff too, but I love the weird shit too. So
Oh yeah. 100%.
absolutely. So, well, like I said, that's going to wrap us up for this week on the old Fanatic Forum. So, I hope you all had a lovely time out there. Thank you for all who joined us. Definitely like and share. And I guess I'm going to have to repost this on Facebook, because I think both my Facebook things crashed there. I don't know why. We're still up on YouTube. So, hey, YouTube.
Hey,
Martin, thank you, sir. Appreciate you bringing in here. Yes, sir, man. You would be happy to know that Seth, our gaming group, was discussing some ideas about possible new games to try after we're done with Black Sword Hack. And one of the games that was brought up was, in fact, Shadowrun.
Yes. Shadowrun is in contention. And we're gonna have to play legit D&D, or else I think Steve's head will explode.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's like we're playing. I'm having fun with Black Sword, and I kind of like it a little better than D&D. So whatever,
yeah.
We'll play some.
I mean, we're basically gonna play the same roll style variation. We'll switch it to or to D20, and it's gonna be the same basic damn thing. But yeah, we're just gonna call it D&D, and yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, there was a lot of other games we were discussing, because I even brought up like Rifts, or there's all kinds of crazy shit. I was like, even though not all of our guys in the group are G.I. Joe fans, there is a G.I. Joe role playing game.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering if like maybe we can pitch that idea as like, well, what if we play a game where we are our custom characters, like the ones,
you credit,
yeah, yeah.
Dude, I think you might get them on that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping so. But
like when you're finished, because the other thing too is that Seth has gotten majorly into action figure photography with G.I. Joe classifieds, and it's legit good stuff too, folks. You're welcome. I mean, it's like, you guys some good scenarios. Like you had one of like Snake Eyes like infiltrating a Cobra base, and he was like, there's one point like he's like hanging upside down in an alleyway behind a couple of guardsmen. So he's like about to take him out, and then you had like another thing of like Quick Kick and Firefly having a good fight, and so and of course my personal favorite is the preview for the next one, where apparently Lieutenant Falcon gets back on track or on crack.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that one actually might have gotten me banned on the action figure forum because I posted that on there just to see. And yeah, that was.
Come on, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I have an action figure Instagram. If you all want to follow it, it's just Seth_Manhammer. And,
yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna try and pull up the Falcon one real quick. Hang on, let me.
But the other thing that Seth has also got to do is what they call kit bashing, which is basically meaning you're making your own custom figures, but you're making them out of pre-existing figures instead of actually he's not using like putty and epoxy and stuff like that. Like he's taking existing parts of figures and then making a brand new figure out of it. Yeah. So what he has done is that he has taken myself. Well, it hasn't gotten around to me yet, but he's got the idea for me.
I've got parts for you so far, so it's like it is
cool.
building. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically he's making, for all four of us of the Horsemen, Steve, Eric, myself, and Seth, he's made custom figures for us of characters based off us. We've picked our own code names and stuff like that, and it's brilliant. So, but here's the picture in question here.
Yeah,
Lieutenant Falcon.
The first picture, and then, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be part of a bigger set that I'm taking multiple photos for, but it's going to tell a whole story after all. This is just a small piece of it, but yeah.
I love that. Martin says, used lucky action figure wise lately, found a ton of kaijus and even a Kenner Silver Surfer on card. Nice.
Oh, damn. Wow.
That's a bit of a rarity there. Nice.
Yeah.
That's a 90s era figure, right? So
I think that's the one that's got like that surfboard, the pullback and wind up surfboard that releases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Also got some Street Sharks, a ton of Smurfs and Turtles. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Street Sharks, do you know they're actually going to be making new Street Shark action figures?
I have heard that. It's like I don't know if I'm going to be. I don't know if I can do the Street Sharks as a collectible. Like I'm trying to stay 6-inch, right? Like just straight 6-inch and like human proportion. I might go like their Operation Monster Force has this like Chatsworth like 9-inch figure that is like coming out, but like they had QC issues on the giant werewolf, so I'm kind of apprehensive on the giant monkey.
Mm-hmm. But the Monster Force stuff is really cool though. Oh, and Martin says yes. Yeah, Martin says yes. It was the one with the surfboard. Yeah,
nice.
So,
yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, that's a nice, rare, and older figure too.
Yeah, so. It is.
Yeah, so let's see. Have I got anything recently? I'm trying to see.
You got your Law and Order there, I see.
Yes, I got. I do have my Law and Order here, which, thanks to Seth, gave me a great tip. Did you know that Target has a discount shop on eBay under the name Bullseye Deals? Mm-hmm. Now they do have some toys on there from time to time. The only cool thing they had on there for the most recent history, Law and Order, a $60 set for $24.
Shipped. Yeah. Hell of a deal.
Humongous deal.
Yeah. My classified circle started going off about it, and I had to text George and let him know because it was like, that was my January figure purchase right there. Was my Law and Order. Yeah.
Yep. So everybody's favorite MP and his best boy.
Yeah.
Look at him.
I love the animals that come with the classifieds.
I mean, they have just about as much detail and articulation as the humans do.
Yeah.
And of course, like he's got his flak jacket, thing on there to protect him. And the cool thing too is that much like Junkyard from the Junkyard set, the dogs have two different heads. So this is his happy face, and then he's got a mad face.
Yeah.
His good boy face, and then his mad face.
Yeah. Timber has that too with the Snake Eyes sets.
Yeah, and so like here's my. Yeah, well, Junkyard's a little dusty there, but see, Junkyard's got his mad boy face on right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
I love my Mutton Junkyard figures, too. Those are, Do you have your junkyard with or do you have your mutt with the muzzle on?
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, well, he's got it like halfway on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay,
got
yeah.
he's got kind of it's a little bit off his face there, but yeah,
No, I feel that. Yeah.
yeah. He wanted to let it breathe a little bit.
That's fair. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Well,
And we're good. Okay, things are falling.
yeah, that's an off-camera cleanup.
All right, so I got an M16, a helmet, and a dog to find. So, all right. Well, I guess I got things to do now. So, all right. Well, for those of you guys expecting some winter weather this weekend, you all be safe out there. Apparently, the shit's going to be thick. So, we'll see how that all goes out there.
It's already getting cold.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. It's well digger's ass cold out there right now. So yeah. So Martin says gravity and shit.
Yeah.
Damn you, gravity.
Damn gravity.
All right. You all have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Definitely share and like with your friends here. So yeah, just always love to expand the audience, expand the brand, and all that kind of stuff there. So you all have yourselves a lovely weekend, and we will see you next time on the Fanatic Forum. TTFN.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Troops. And overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.